am so excited to be here today to talk to you about the power of perception. 90% of our error in thinking is due to our error in perception. On the second page of your packet, there's a handout called Perception in You. And I want you to look at this just for a minute. Look at some of the questions, and then my hope is that at the end of my presentation, you have a very different perception about you, about change. Do you see yourself as a person of action, and do you create your day to be happy? So what is perception? Perception is our cognitive interpretation of the world around us. All day long, we receive messages, verbal and nonverbal. And how do we make sense out of those messages? Because perception and messages really impact and influence self-esteem. Self-esteem is your evaluation of yourself. It's how you see yourself. A lot of people think that self-esteem is inherited. It is not. It is learned behavior. So that's the good news, that you can change your self-esteem. It's made up of your personal and your social identity. Your personal identity is the pride that you feel for all the good stuff about you. Taking time to pause each day and have gratitude for your assets, your talents, your strengths, your contributions, and feeling pride for that. That boosts self-esteem. Social identity, then, is the pride and the joy that you feel by the groups you belong to, the people you link arms with. Hopefully today is an esteem booster for you because you're here with good friends, good conversation, good food, and you'll increase self-esteem accordingly. It's amazing when you think about all of the teams and groups that you belong to. A family team, a neighborhood team, perhaps a church team, a community team, a work team, and then maybe a bowling team or something like that. But lots of people in your world that care about you. You're the one that drives your self-perception. You are the one that decides what you're going to focus on. Are you going to focus on those positives or those negatives?
I've had the opportunity to hear Vikki speak 2 or 3 times now, and I continually refer her because she is just that gentle reminder that focus is so important in our business and our personal lives. I think today was just another one of those reminders that if I'm not paying attention, I'm definitely going to go down a path that I don't know where it's going to take me. So I need to remain focused and present in the moment.
So you need to ask yourself, wow, am I ambiguous? Am I sending mixed messages? 70,000 words flow through our brain in a day. We have close to 3,000 thoughts. Thoughts become action, and you are accountable for your actions and your thoughts and the consequences. Do you focus on the negatives more than the positives? Are you one-dimensional because of that? If you receive 10 compliments today and 1 negative, or that you perceive as negative, what are you going to think about when you crawl into bed tonight? It's human nature to focus on the negative. Positives are far more fleeting. It's a 5-to-1 ratio. It takes 5 positives to cancel 1 negative. Are you ambiguous, and are you one-dimensional because you focus on the negatives rather than the positives and having gratitude?
I thought she was very professional. She was very educated in what she was speaking about. It was very informative. I think everybody here definitely learned something and they could take home and work on it. As they say, perception is reality, and not everybody thinks what perception really is all about, so she kind of made it into simple layman's term for everybody. I think what she said, the mixed messages, I want to be an open, positive person. and not always am I. You know, I sometimes do the blame game. I, you know, need to take more accountability for my own actions and choose to be more positive and, you know, choose to live that life that I really want. That sometimes when you take a step back and you look at yourself in, you know, a different perspective, then, you know, you're not always happy with that person that you really are, and you need to work on it.
Vision. What is your vision? I spend a lot of time on college campuses helping seniors get ready to brand themselves for the real world. I always say to them, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What you do today creates momentum for tomorrow, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years. We're all familiar with GPS systems. That's how I got here today. We each have an internal GPS system. What happens if I plug in the incorrect address to my GPS system? Am I going to get where I need to be? Are you plugging accurate information into your internal GPS system? Or are you allowing distractions to move you off course so you've lost vision of where you want to go?
I felt like Vikki's presentation was fabulous, very informative, uplifting. I've seen Vikki present several times before, and she always brings just very valuable information to the presentation, and just empowerment skills that we can apply in our lives, in both professional and personal. The thing that connected with me was the empowerment equation and the components of the empowerment equation and how I can apply that to myself. I really liked her challenge at the end to think of one thing and focus on that one thing to make a change.
The blame game. We've all done it. We all do it. We all deflect. But it decreases our self-esteem. It's a withdrawal from our empowerment bank because it's excuse-driven. So stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming others. Be like Jane and own it. Perfect. Do you know anybody that's perfect? I don't. Perfection is not reality. There will never be a perfect job. There will never be a perfect spouse or partner. There will never be a perfect child. There will never be a perfect day. Because stuff happens.
I thought Vikki Carrel's presentation was fantastic. It was very informative. I loved the fact that she was so confident up there, instilling these principles in the group that she was talking to. It was probably the best speaker that I have seen this year at the WCR functions.
We've talked about 5 barriers. They hold us back. We know it. But if you alter your mindset, your perception a little bit, that's the first step. It comes back to your empowerment equation. What do you want the result to be? Once you've determined the result, you can then build the equation by altering perception, willingness to make change, opportunities to create motivation, which then drives productivity. So in conclusion, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. What are you plugging in to that internal GPS system? Do you have clarity, or are your thoughts and actions not aligned? So you're sending all kinds of mixed messages to yourself and the world around you, which causes all kinds of confusion. I want to issue what I call the one thing challenge. I have given you an hour's worth of information today. It's a lot to process, all kinds of strategies. Pick one thing. perception of yourself, negatives versus positives, ambiguous perceptions. What is it that you want to change? And then create your equation, because it's all about creating your day to be happy. Thank you very much.